forward to this. Hey guys, see, I was so excited. I already started talking before it was time to record. I'm so happy we're here today. I love teaching these classes and I love that I get to do it with you. So I'm so glad you're here. We are making some fun little duckies and peeps, little chicks, and I can't wait to show you. So let me change my camera, switch my camera around so that you can see. Aren't these so cute? I love them so much. So we have a little peep and or bunny, and we have a little chick, or we could say a ducky, whatever you like. I made a little ducky coming out of an egg. We have another little bunny. So I'm super excited to make these. We're going to start with the easiest. We're going to be able to make 2 today. And I'll show you how to make the one coming out of the egg. It's super simple. It's almost exactly like the duck. So let's go ahead and get started. I would love to see your final project. I'm at La Cozy Casita, so la_cozy_casita on Instagram. So if your adult can share with me there, I would love to see it. And we want to see at Michael's as well, at Learn with Michael's. So let's see what you've been up to and what colors you decided to use. You could also hashtag at Learn with Michael's. You could hashtag Make It with Michael's or Michael's classes, and we could see them there as well. So so excited. Here are our supplies that we're going to be using. We're going to be using beads, multicolored pony beads. So you could either have a bag of them. What I've done is I've pre-sorted my beads just because I think it's fun to do that. So I sort them while I'm watching TV. I just think that's super fun to see them all out by their colors in this box. So I just keep refilling the box and buying more bags of beads. Maybe you already have yours sorted out. So you'll need your box of beads, and it doesn't matter what color. I choose the more pastel-y colors like pink or blue, maybe a lavender. If you have a lavender would be really pretty. White, yellow, orange for the chick or the ducky. So whatever you like, but if you just have, the regular colors like a red, maybe we wouldn't see a red ducky, but why not? Why couldn't we have a red marshmallow bunny? Because this is your project. So you get to be in charge of whatever color you want. If you want to make it rainbow, if you want to make it patterned, you can do that. So what I recommend is just kind of sticking with one color first before you're making patterns, just so you can figure it out a little bit. And then your second one, go ahead and change up the patterns. But who am I to tell you what to do? You do your own thing because you're the boss of your craft. So the other thing that you're going to need are if you have them, we have these little, what did I do with my little bag here? I just had it. This is what happens when Nicole and I chitty chat before it's time. Here we go. So these are little lanyard hooks, and this is what's going to hook on to your backpack or your zipper to make the zipper pull. And so these come in lots of colors. So you just decide what you want. Okay, so that's what you'll need. And then if you would like to make your designs a little sturdier, I like to use straws. So if you have any straws, go ahead and grab some of those. If you don't have straws, toothpicks work great too. Okay, if you don't have either of these, no worries. No worries at all. These just make it a little sturdier. So that's why I like to give it a little more substance with the straws. Okay, a little sturdier so it's less floppy. All right, are we good? Okay, so, oh my goodness, I forgot the main thing, you guys. Oh, and scissors. I forgot to ask you where you're coming in from. Where are you joining us? And your name and how old you are if you want to get some shout outs. So we love to give shout outs. But if you would like to let us know, we're here for it. So at any time, let us know where you are joining us from and how old you are if you want, or just what you're up to. We love it. We love it. We love it. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. And just a reminder, let us know in the Q&A any questions that you have. And this will be on YouTube tomorrow. So you'll be able to see this tomorrow on YouTube if you've missed anything. All right, let's get started. So we are first going to, oh my goodness. Of course, we need our string. I really did forget the main deal. We need our string. So I am using this cording. I also like using this thinner cording. I used butcher's twine on this guy. So you can use any of the above, whatever you like. Just for the sake of tonight, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use this cording. This cording, I love the look of it on the side. I think it's great. Here you go. So it's more of a fabric cording. It's really pretty. I like it, but if you're a kiddo, this one's a little harder. If you're an adult, go for this one. But for the kids, it kind of unravels. It's a little thicker, so it's hard to get both into the beads for kids. It's fine for adults. Okay. And then my adults, you know, the hack. I'm not going to say it on here because it is a kid class, but you could just YouTube a hack for helping this not unravel. Okay. So that is one thing that I would recommend for our kids. I do like these the thinner twine. Let's see if it'll come into focus here. This is what it's like a waxed twine. Okay. The plastic ones are fine, like the Creatology for beading. You could use that as well. They're a little stretchier, but you could totally use it as well. It's just a little more flimsy. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. And don't forget to let us know your shout outs. Okay, or we can give you your shout outs. We are going for our first string, and our first strand, I just like to go about 40 inches. So that's going to give you plenty of space. So I'm going to measure out 40 inches. And then if you are kids joining us, let me know what age so I know what we're working with. So if I need to break it down, I can break it down. If I need to speed it up, I can speed it up. It really is very helpful to me. All right, so here's our 40 inches. And let me clear off some space so it's not as distracting. And we are going to work right now on this chick. Okay, isn't it cute? Or duck, however you want to look at it. We're going to go ahead and put one of the hooks on. I'm going to choose blue. You can see this one doesn't have a hook. So you can just leave it without the hook, or you can put a hook. If you want to add a keychain, you can put a keychain on. Okay, so I am going to remove this as well. Sometimes I feel like if there's too much there, it can cause a little bit of a distraction. It's hard to focus in on what we're doing. All right, I'm going to pull up just a touch so that you're able to see what I've done here. So I've just strung it through. And now I'm making sure that both of my ends here are even. Just like that. If you are a kid, you might just want to tape this down. That might help a little bit so it doesn't move here in the beginning, but it's not necessary. All right, so now I have a left side and I have a right side. On my left side, I'm going to put one yellow bead on my left, And then I'm going to go through the opposite end. So I've got my right side and I'm going to go onto the opposite side. So whichever side your string is going through, you're going to go on the opposite side. Okay. So your string is going to look like this. It's going to be going both directions in each bead. Does that make sense? That's what's going to keep it still. So there's the one bead. Okay. So if you do not have straws, if you do not have toothpicks, you're just going to keep stringing like I just said. If you do have straws, this is where your straw is going to create a sturdier little keychain for you. And what I mean is these all have straws in it. So I cannot bend this. It's nice and taut. Whereas this one does not. See how it's a little more flimsy? So that's just what the straw will do. So you grab your straw. I love this hack. You're going to cut down the middle. It just makes it look a little more finished. That's what I love about it. You're just going all the way down, and I have my kid's scissors. There we go. So cutting that is now going to allow that straw to retract. Get a little tighter as you're sliding it onto the bead. So I've got my straw, and I'm going to slide 3 beads. 3 beads down. 1, and I'm kind of pinching the straw. Show you. So here's my straw, and I'm just going to pinch it so it just gets a little tighter. So I've got 1, 2, and 3. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to push all of these beads to the end, and I'm going to snip the opposite end. So you see what that did for me? It gave me a nice finished look. So I'm going to, it doesn't matter which end you start with first, the right or the left, it does not matter. I'm going to put my string in through the right and my string in through the left. And then pull both ends equally. So how is the pacing for you guys? I think I might not have too many kids on tonight. How is the pacing? Is this okay? Because if they're watching later, they can pause, I suppose.
So far, so good.
All right, awesome. All right, so we're going to do that again. We're going to go 4. So I'm going to get 4 yellow beads. Now, if you wanted to do the chick or the ducky coming out of the egg, you're going to start, these 3 rows are going to be white. They're going to be the egg. So I've got my 4 beads. Just give it a little pinch to make sure it fits through. All right, so there's my 4. Now I'm going to scooch them to the end. So scooch them over, snip it. And what I like to do is I like to just go a little further. So that straw goes in a little more. I snip because as you can see, when I snip, I have some of that plastic left over. So now what I do is I just kind of pinch the sides, and now they're both flush. They're both even on each side. So I'm going in to the right, and I'm going into the left. So if you're working on the egg, these are all white. I'm just going straight chick on this one. Now, at times, you'll notice that you may have accidentally pulled one side more than the other. I'm still okay. I'm still even. But it's good to check that every once in a while, just so you don't have so much string left over on one side than the other. Okay, now we are going to do the eye and the beak. So we're going 2 yellows, 1 black, one yellow, two oranges. So get my straw again. And it doesn't matter which side because you can just flip it. So I've got my two yellows. He can be looking either way. Two yellows. Got one black for the eye. Another yellow. And two oranges for the beak. One and two. There we go. Every once in a while, your fold, you'll just have to unfold that because sometimes the straw comes on the opposite end. It's hard to explain it unless you're working on it, unless you're using the straw. But it's not a big deal at all. You just kind of run your finger down it to make sure it's catching. So what I'm saying is sometimes your straw is contracting this way, but then down the straw, it kind of switches to where it's contracting this way. So you just make sure it's just realigned. That's all. Okay, so I think it's easier to put one side in to where you see it coming out and then go through the other side and then pull both sides. See, we're rocking and rolling now. So now we're going to go ahead and do 3 yellows and 2 whites. So you can see it truly doesn't matter. See, because I could flip this around and it would be just the same. So we're going to go 3 yellows. I said 2 whites. I meant 2 oranges. So 1, 2, 3. And then we get our 2 oranges. 2 oranges. And give it another snip. These are so cute. You could even put these on a little Easter basket. Wouldn't it be cute to put like these letter charms like on a string coming out with the kids' names? That would be so cute. Okay, so we are stringing these on again. And then if yours starts to unravel, just snip it. You can see my end here is just starting to unravel a bit. So that just makes it harder to thread, but all I do is just snip the end and then I'm good to go. We have the ice cream truck driving by. That makes me so happy. Spring and summer, the first day of spring today. So exciting. All right, now we're going 2, 4, 6, 7 yellows. 2, 4, 6, 7. So this is a great beginner project, this one. The peep that I'm going to do next, the marshmallow bunny, is a little more challenging. But this one's pretty straightforward. There was an alligator one once that I was like, wow, that looks so hard because there's a lot of flipping. But this one is straightforward. Okay. There we go. And then same thing. So you just want to make sure that you're tightening it. See how it's kind of becoming loose up here? Just make sure, like each time, I'm just going to make sure that I bring it all the way up to the top. There we go. Nice and tight. Okay, the next one is another row of 7, I believe. 2, 4, 6, 7. Yes. And I am almost out of my yellows. 2, 4, 6, 7. I just think these are so cute and so fun for Easter time. I always wondered how they made these, and I only started making these when I started teaching for Michael's. And I just love them so much. We have a quiet crowd tonight. Usually we have a lot of chatties, a lot of people chiming in. All right, snip it. Okay, here we go. Same thing. String on one end and string on the other. Here we go. And now we're going 2, 4, 6. I need another. Oh, here's one right here. So do you see how this hack is kind of nice with the straw? It just keeps it a little more uniform. 1, 2.
Definitely speeds up the process too.
Yes, definitely. Because then you're not stringing each bead on there. Kind of keeps them in place. 2, 4, 6. Okay, there we go. And then our last one is going to, not last, our second to last will have 5. Now, if you decided to do the chicken, the egg, what I did is I just did 1 row of yellow and then the rest were white, and I stopped there. So I tried to make like an oval here. If you are doing chick, just keep doing what I'm doing here. But for the white, you're essentially making all of these. You're doing 1 row of yellow after the beak, and then white, 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 and then no feet. That's how you make that one. Or you could still make it flat, and if you wanted to make like a rubber ducky that goes in your bathtub, it's giving rubber ducky vibes. All right, so we've got 5. Oh, yay, I'm gonna have enough yellows. Okay. 5 yellows. And then, you know the drill. We're just clipping these off. Oh, my scissors didn't like that one. Let's see if I can snip again. There we go. Okay. So last is going to be the 2 little feet or claws. Okay. Cute. That looks like a rubber ducky that goes in the bathtub, just like that. But if you want to add the 2 feet, let me make sure I get the right colored orange. I've got 2 shades. Let's do that one to match the beak. 1, 2. So you can see this is pretty straightforward, pretty easy peasy. Snip. Let's grab this guy. Now, if you don't have straws, you could have just strung them through. And then afterwards, which I'll show you right now, bring this up. Afterwards, what you do is you just slide a toothpick in, bring it on over, and then just snap it off. That does the same thing. I do think that threading it on the straw is faster than adding the toothpick later. So, okay, so we've got that. Now, you kind of hold it tight. And what you're going to do, some people would just string on, they would just knot it here on the bottom. And that's one way to do it. But what it's going to do is it's going to give you quite a bit of string here. So if you like the look of tying it off on the side better, you can do that. It's just, it really depends on your preference. This is a better example right here on the side. Here on the, with the little feet, it's really not going to make too much of a difference, but I'll show you what you do. You just bring this in here. So you're just threading it through this space here. You're knotting it and bringing it right through again. So then tighten it up, and you do that 2 times. Ooh, the great thing with this is it can hide in its little feet. The bead, since I'm using a thinner twine, that's kind of nice. Okay, again. Bring it to the other knot. Hold it and bring it really tight. There we go. And then you could either glue it down or just snip it. Same thing on this side. Through. Once. And you could scooch in that knot. If you didn't like the look of it, you could scooch it and hide it in the under the bead, inside the bead. Bring it through again. Get it nice and tight. Here we go. Okay, and then snip it off if you like. Okay. There we go. There is our little ducky. So cute, right? I just love that. So you could add a little glue here just to keep it in its place. Okay. Which I would recommend. You don't want it to unravel. Parents, you know what I said about the hack. Just kind of look into that. There are other ways to make sure it doesn't come unfrayed. I don't feel comfortable saying that on a kid show, but you can research that a little bit. There are other ways. You could just put glue. Okay, so we are going to go for the bunny rabbit now, the little peeps. So I'm going to just set these guys aside. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on and let them dry on the one I just made so I don't forget. I'm just going to add a little glue here and a little glue here. I know I'm off screen, but I just added a dot. I didn't want it to unravel on me. It was just starting, so I'm going to put that glue there. Okay, so I just added a dot here and a dot on the other side. All right, let's make these cute little marshmallow bunnies. I left this together just so you could kind of see, just in case we had some inquiries about wrapping. Okay, so let's see. I've done a blue. I've done a pink. We could do a purple. Purple would be cute. I don't have a lavender, which lavender would be adorable. A green would be cute. But I really like this magenta color, so I might do that. I did the blue. Okay, so let's go ahead with, I'm going magenta. This one's cute too, though, right? It's just so much like the other blue, so magenta it is. All right, so this is the one that can be a little confusing, and this is why I put in that it's more of an advanced class for kids. It's much harder than this one, but it's still not so bad. It just requires you to use your brain in a different way. So most of us have creative brains, which is why we're here. So we'll just have a little bit of opposite brain thinking tonight. So let's go ahead and measure out our 40 inches. Again, let me clear out this space. Again, it doesn't matter. You could use this type of cording, rat tail cording, or you can use the waxed cording. That's what I'm using. I just like it a little better because I can put it through the straws, or this one I'm not actually going to put through the straws, I'm going to show you how to do the toothpicks. All right, so let's move this up. Let me get my notes. I don't want to tell you incorrectly. And here we go. Okay, so we are going to use our one colors. We only need about 40 or so pony beads for the color. We're going to use 3 black beads and then your clip. So here's my clip. I'm going to go with white since I've got 2 whites. We have used these so much in these classes. I love these little clips. If you have a keychain, what you would do, a key ring, what you would do is just gather yours on the bottom here. Bring them. Did I do 20? I did do 20. And then I'm just going to pretend like this is the circle of the key ring. All you're doing is putting this through. So the loop side goes through the circle. And you're going to pull that loop open and pull these through. That's how you're going to get it around your key ring. So if you did not grab one of these where you're just threading it through, that's how you could do that. All right. So thread this through, bring your 2 sides together, and we are going to go for it. So our first one is 3 rows of 2. 3 rows of 2. So I've got 2 here. So what we're doing is we're working on this ear, the left ear. So I've got my 2 here. And now what I'm going to do is, remember, I'm going the opposite direction. So whichever your string is going through, you're going to bring the string through the opposite direction. Make some space here. So my string is going in this way. So my opposite string is going to go the opposite direction. So right now and it doesn't matter if you start left or right, but I'm going to put this in the opposite direction. Okay. Then remember, you want to make sure that your loops or that your ends are even. And you just need to do this a couple of times. So I wasn't quite even, so I'm just inching it. Oh, now I made it worse. I pulled the wrong side, I think. There we go. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Oh, but that is, look at that. Okay. Just make sure it's kind of close. Okay, so we've got 2, and we're going 2 more. Same thing. And I'm just stringing mine on the left. You can string yours on the right. Just make sure you're doing all of them on the right for these 3 rows of 2. So here's the second. Make sure you get both on the string. And then pull it through. And now we have 1 more row. 1 and 2. And then your string comes through on the other side. And pull them broke. Uh-oh, wrong side. There we go. Oops, I'm off the camera. Sorry, guys. There we go. So there's our the first part of our ear. So just kind of lay it flat. So you're just going to manipulate it a little bit. Pull it. Let's turn it this way. Let's see what's happening here. There we go. This is how mine kind of started out on the other as well. So give it enough leeway that it'll lay flat. There we go. You'll have to help it along a little bit, but it will lay flat eventually. Okay, so now we're going to start working on the right ear. Okay, so we're going to work on the right side. So we've been working on the left. We're going to work on the right. If you started on the left, now you're working on the right. Okay, so I did left. I'm going for right. So I'm going to do a row of 7 on the right. Oop, got a broken one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. See, for me, I think that straw is so much faster than doing it this way, but we're going to do toothpick. And we couldn't do the straw on this part. So that's why I chose that. Okay, so you're going to bring that string of beads close to the ear here, as close as you can. Then 2 of these beads are coming away. So now I've left a space here. So I've got my 5 and I have my 2 that I've now separated. I'm taking this same string, not the left. I'm still working on the right side. I'm taking the end of the right side of the string and I'm putting it through just these 2 beads. Okay, so I'll say that again. I have the 7 beads. I strung them on. I brought them close to this ear that I've already made. And right now what we're doing is we're making this other ear plus a space here. That's what we're doing. So we're making this row, the 6 plus the 1 in between. So we've got our 7. I've scooched it all the way down to the ear and we're making a space here. Now I'm taking this right end. So this is different than what we've been doing. Taking the right end and I'm bringing it through the opposite way of where the string is. So I'm bringing it in this way on these 2. Just like that. And I'm pulling it through. Just like that. Now, I'm going to bring the string again on these next 2. So I've strung these 2. Now I'm bringing them in again, stringing these 2, the middle 2. See what's happening? Did you see that? It's making the stack. Okay, now I'm going to bring it through these 2. So those last 2, these are the last 2 of the ear. These 2, bring it back up. Let me zoom in just so you can see. So here's these 2. Zoom in, just those 2. All right. Now nice and tight. Look at that. It's like a spiral almost. Okay, so these are going to sort themselves out. Let's just make sure we get it nice and flat. Got a little extra. So you'll just have to manipulate a tiny bit. Here's 1. So this thinner string, I got it a little too tight. Go. Come on up there, guy. Now, if you're using this cording, you won't have this little tiny bit of trouble. This is the first time, so it's just the way that I strung it. There we go. And like I said, just kind of move those down if you want. And once they're together, you can totally do that too. There we go. Beautiful. Okay, so now we have our, I'm getting it tight. There we go. The 2 bunny ears. This is what we did. And it's forgiving because I just made this one before class and I strung 6 instead of 7. And I don't have that spacer bead right there, but it totally looks still fine, in my opinion. Okay, so now now it's straightforward from here on out. We're just bam, 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 just as you see it. So this next row, we're doing purple, black, purple, black, purple. Okay, so color, black, color, black, color. Just making the pattern. And it doesn't matter which side you do. I'm going to go back to my left side. So color, black is the eye. You're going to add another color that's going in between the eye. One other black for the eye and another color. So I've got that. And now I'm going through the opposite end. There we go. See how loosey-goosey those are? And it was not doing that with the straw, remember? That's why I like the straws. Ring it tight. See that too? The straws really just get everything in line. But the toothpicks will help it out. All right, so now we're going to do 2 colored, 1 black, 2 colors. So I'm going with my purples, then 1 black, 2 purples, or I'm sorry, yes, 2 purples, because we just did the nose. All right, now I'm taking color and pulling it back through my string, I mean. Pull them both up. There we go. See how it's got its own little shape now, doesn't it? All right, so now we're doing 4 purple. Green would have been cute too. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the opposite way. So you just have to make sure they're all in line for that string to go through all of them. Another tally mark in the case for using straws. Go. He's so cute. All right, so now we're going to do 5. Until I was sorting these at night or when I wasn't using my glasses, because I've got some reds in with my magentas. All right, so if you wanted to do right, you could totally do right. You're just string them on the right and then go the opposite way, left, right, and then left. I wonder where all of our friends are, Nicole. It's so strange. I wonder if everybody's on spring break.
So we actually have a friend who has asked, how would I move the beads to make the bunny ears if I decide to use the straws? Would that be possible?
What I would do, you could just, no, you couldn't do that with the bending when we were bending them all, but you could use the straw on the left side. You could do straw, straw, straw. And then for this long one, you
Could
wouldn't
you
be
do
able to do
straws
it.
of twos? Like if
Yes,
you had the straw cut into twos per, could you string the whole thing that way? Just
you could.
an
It would
idea out there.
it would kind of be a pain. I think honestly, it would just be easier to make it loosey-goosey here. And then at the end, you're just going to grab the toothpick and pop it through just like this. And then that will make it tight again for them. I think it would be more of a pain to like move it, get it cut just right, move it back over. Because remember, you're threading through those 7. So it's going to be pretty tricky. You certainly could. It's not impossible at all, but I think it would be more of a pain to do that.
That's fair.
Oh,
Thank you, Elizabeth.
yeah. And once you get them tightened, these ears aren't going to wobble around too much. It's these that you want to go ahead and make your straws on, honestly. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got 5. Let's do another row of 5. That was a good question. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I forgot to look to see what my next class is. I wonder if it's the potato prints. I forgot to look. I got potato prints coming. I've got a summer one. You know, where you're the potato prints and paint, it's where you're making like engraving into a potato and then dipping the potato into paint and then stamping. I think that's the next one. Okay, 4 is my last row. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So bring these up. Just tighten them all. It's funny with this thinner string, it just makes it buckle if you're not careful. Cute. Okay. So like I said, you could bring this and tie it here on the bottom, just like that, a double knot. Or what you could do is I'm holding this, string it through here. So between the last 2 rows, and then you're going inside this loop that you just made. Just making a knot here. You're doing that 2 times. 1. Now this kind of string will unravel if you're not careful. So use that hack. Have your adult use the hack. Or what I would recommend is double knotting. Don't cut yet. And add a dab of glue right here on your knot. And then cut after the glue has dried. Because I noticed on the last one, it already started to unravel before I got the glue on. It's fine. It didn't completely come apart. I got the glue on in time. But what happened is I cut it. And so if I hadn't cut it, it would have made that knot stronger. So as you can see, I remembered for the other ones, don't cut the knot yet. Don't cut the string yet. So there's my other. So go ahead and give yourself a little glue, a dab of glue here. See how it kind of comes apart just a touch. Make it tight, add the glue, and then once the glue is dry, come in and snip it. So there is our adorable little marshmallow bunny and our ducky or chick, whichever you like to call it. Here's the one in the Easter egg. There we go. Okay, we did pretty good. Let's see, since we have just a little bit of time, I'm going to show you the next project. We have a couple projects coming up. Oh, I have several. I have some summer ones coming. I believe these are the next 3, so I'm going to show you the next 3. We actually have 4. I have 4 left. So this is the potato. These are potatoes. So I just took those tiny little Yukon Gold potatoes and I etched in patterns and then I stamped them on the paper. So these are just the simple ones with the metallic paint. Isn't that pretty? And then these are more of a a mix of colors and I made these into chicks. I thought this was a fun, very simple project, super easy to do with toddlers. They would love this. Or any age, but I love the ones where we can help out the little ones too. Then we have an April showers brings May flowers pop-up card. This is a little umbrella. But that was cute, super simple, fun way just to use different media. So the little raindrops are paper and marker. And then I used one of those fun straws for the umbrella and googly eyes. So this is just a really fun little craft. And then I love doing the miniature scene. So this is all air dry clay. So we did like a little pool scene on a patio. So this one was pretty fun. I have one more. I'm not going to grab it right now. But everything's on the app. And let me just remind you how to find us. It's also in the Q&A or the chat. At Learn with Michaels, at La Cozy Casita, that's me. I'm going to flip my camera around so I can chat with you a little. All right, there we go. Well, thank you guys so much. I had a great time. I hope you did. This turned out super cute, I thought. Oh, I forgot to show you the toothpicks. Oh my goodness. All right, let me flip it around one last time. I'm so sorry. I kind of gave you a quick little example of the toothpicks. So sorry. Okay, there we go. Okay, all you have to do is put the toothpick in, and you can see that right away it's going to straighten it up. So just wiggle that in there. And then what you do is you snip. Make sure not to get I should get stronger scissors here. Make sure not to get the string. And then it just goes right in. So you can do that with each row. And then again, you're going to snip. And it goes. And then come through and snip these out. You could use an actual tool if I have like the Die Hard crafters who also have jewelry tools for making jewelry. That's a good thing to use here. So you can see that offered a little more stability. I prefer the straws, but this is just another option. So then you just come in here and just snip these. And of course, you know, these could slide out. Because I'm using the thinner string, but with that thicker string, they wouldn't slide out. So if you're using thinner string, go for the straws. If you're using thicker string and you don't have straws, go for the toothpick. Here's one. And you can just tuck those in. So like I said, this guy has a thicker, so you can see how those toothpicks are going to go in there and they're not going to go anywhere. So it's a better hack for these, the thicker string, the rat tail cording. Okay. And then if you're using the string, go for the straw. All righty. Let me flip around. There we go. Okay. Well, thank you guys for joining me. I truly look forward to these classes. I love them so much. So thank you for joining me, and come show me what you made on At La Cozy Casita. I will see you all very soon. See you next week. All right. Bye, guys.